And we're back with our next guest. We have with us Johanna Sadonis of the heavy metal band Lucifer. Welcome to the show, Johanna.
Hi, thank you.
So we're really enjoying the album that you have out, Lucifer 4. And for myself, Johanna, your music is very reminiscent of the era that I grew up in. So your music holds a nostalgia factor in both the music of those times, the art of those times, but also the social climate of those times. So what drew you to this style of music and atmosphere of those times to make you go ahead and want to form a whole band in this vein?
I guess it goes back to my parents' record collection. When I was a kid, there was ZZ Top, Deep Purple. My mom was a huge Stones fan. All that 70s classic rock stuff and so on. But of course, first as a teenager, you want to find your own thing. So for me, it was heavy metal. My brother was a punk, so I found my niche in metal. And for some years, I've been in underground, extreme metal bands in the 90s. And the older I got, the more I dug deeper into those record crates of my parents, and I think the older I got, the more backwards I walked with my music taste, and that's just so. I think by now I rarely listen to modern music because I just don't find many contemporary bands that have that standard that ruled back in the day, at least for my taste. I like the production of the old records. I like, the sleeve designs and the way people looked. If you go to a metal show these days, a lot of people have short hair. All right, but I love long hair. I think that's also when I grew up as a metal kid in the 90s. I mean, there was a lot more people still sporting long hair than it is nowadays.
Oh, and your music is coming out now, and I think people find it refreshing, I guess is a good word for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, quite obviously, but I just think the best, in rock and roll and in rock music, the best has already bygone. And I don't think that, of course, it's always interesting when somebody is innovative, but in that genre, for me, it's meat and potatoes. And I wouldn't even call it retro. I call it timeless. For
Absolutely.
me, that never stopped, It's not like digging out some old, costume or something. That's, it's the real deal still, to me.
Right. So let's talk about the new album, Lucifer 4. Will all your albums going to be going in a chronological order, or will you stop at some symbolic number? It turned out to be quite practical. I started this whole number thing, of course, as a little ode, to bands like Led Zeppelin, but then also Danzig, who has a big influence on me, being a 90s metal kid. So it was an ode to that. It turned out to be quite practical, but I'm not dogmatic about anything. So in case a better album title comes along, I might kick that overboard or have a combination, like Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill. Oh, there you go.
So we'll see. But it's also a little bit, nomen est omen, how you say in Latin. If you label something, then maybe, you put that wish out there in the universe and it might come true. It's like a magical thinking kind of thing. So if you label something, Lucifer 1, then there has to be a sequence of albums.
You can't break it now. So Johanna, tell us about the vibe of this album and what are some of the themes within it, and if any of the songs strike a particular personal tone with you.
All these songs have a very personal core lyrically, but also music-wise, emotionally. So the thing is, Lucifer has never been a concept band. So it's not like, like King Diamond or something sitting down writing the story of Abigail. Right. This is more like each song has its own kind of thing, its own sonic journey and its own story in the lyrics. And I always use personal stories. So, there's usually, if you've been close to me, or I love you, or we have
or I have been betrayed, you will probably end up in a song because I have to come up with lyrics. So what do you go for inspiration? You go like through your own personal stuff, which is also kind of cathartic, you know, you kind of work through stuff and it feels good to turn into a song. But of course, I want to always try to shroud it into, for Lucifer, very fitting, you know, imagery. And that is to give some sort of canvas for people to use the song and apply it to themselves and find some sort of comfort, you know, because that's, I mean, me as a music fan, when I listen to certain songs, you know, I want to find my own kind of meaning within the music, and you know how music is the great healer and, you know, some sort of crutch very often in life, you know, so, but they are kind of true stories in all the songs.
So tell us a little bit about the cover art and what you wanted to kind of depict on it for this album.
Yes, the cover, I wanted something that sticks out from the record shelf, of course, but also there is a deeper meaning to everything. And being a woman in this world, like you probably have your own share of experiences, you know, with the patriarchy, you know,
absolutely,
sexist situations, especially, you know, I mean, our generation, you know, that's been through times that are changing. But me growing up, the stuff that I've been through that was normal and that I just accepted when I was a young girl, now it all dawns on me how wrong a lot of these things were. And then it comes to, you know, when you are a woman that puts herself in front of a band, you become automatically some sort of target for, you know, shit talk. And so for me, you know, that image is kind of, you know, it's the witch on the stake that gets burned because she must be burned to death for being, you know, a free, liberated woman. And so it's a very defiant cover. But there went, of course, also other thoughts into it. You know, Jesus Christ, why was Jesus Christ a man? You know, why was the woman assigned to being the Holy Mary, you know, the maternal mother, or the whore, you know, Maria Magdalena? So, you know, I want to be Jesus. No, I don't want to be Jesus. But, you know, it's like, why is Jesus a man? Well, I'm going to put myself up on that cross. So there's like different things you can make of the cover. For me, it was like an act of defiance. You know, it's like you can try to hold me down and pin me to the cross, and I will still, you can't kill my spirit. I'm going to laugh in your face, and I'm going to keep on making albums.
And it's like you said, that will stand out on a shelf in a store, I think. So if all goes well in the world, you're going to be doing a pretty extensive tour in November and really hitting it hard next year. So are you guys super excited to get back out there on this tour?
Oh my God, I can't wait. So we haven't played since January 2020. That was our last US tour. So it's been 1.5 years. And actually next week we're going to play the first show since that time here in Sweden together with Bullet, Swedish heavy metal band. Yeah. And we are super excited because it's been so long and we have not played one show in support of the third album, which we only released last year. So that's going to be our only show in support of Lucifer 3 before the fourth album comes out. So I'm really hoping, you know, everybody in the band is now double jabbed, and I'm really hoping we can go through with it in November, because you don't know, you know, it differs from country to country, and as soon as the numbers are rising, they're closing down again. So we have to see. I'm holding my thumbs that this works. Otherwise, we have another tour coming up in February. I just hope that, you know, all the promoters figure out a way to make it doable. I mean, we can't, you know, they have to find some sort of concepts, you know, with vaccine passes and negative tests for people to go to shows. And I hope it will work out. And I can't wait to come back to the States. You know, we haven't dared to book anything yet because there's a travel ban, so nobody can enter the United States. I hope that will change soon as well, so we can, you know, look into booking some dates over there.
And Johanna, before we go, what are the best sites people can go to follow the band?
www.lucifer.church. That's a collection of all links. You know, you find all the social media and so on. Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Lucifer has a new album out on Century Media Records called Lucifer 4. And Johanna, thank you for taking the time to do this interview with us today, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.